Hey guys, Muncheez here, and this is part 2 of this massive patch that we're getting today. And the first thing we got up are the Reaper skins. So we got the Reaper Agent skins, and then we got the Reaper Dawn skins. There are also these Arcasia's Fidelity and Will cosmetics, and they're adding new stronghold structures to the stronghold for purchase. For the raid and dungeon balances, they're pretty much telling you that 1370 is the limit for Argos now. You can do all 3 gates at 1370. And Orejas are both now 1325 for the normal mode. And under that, we have the Relic Gear balance update, which is for the hallucination set. The 4 set, the crit rate's been changed to 15, 18, 20. And on hit, the hallucination's duration is +1, and the cooldown is 0.4 seconds. And then the 6 set, it's been updated, so if hallucination lasts more than 9 seconds, you gain reality for 120 seconds, so 2 minutes. And for 2 minutes while you have the buff, the damage to foes is increased from 12, 14, 15%. And then crit rate is 5, 7, and 8. And on hit, the reality's duration resets. Now for the massive portion of this, it's going to be the class balance updates. So the first thing on the list we got for Berserkers, we got the BT engraving. It's been updated to, while you're bursting, the damage is 16, 24, and 32% at level 3, and it negates exhaustion after the burst ends. For Gun Lancers, your Bell Strike tripod now on the bash skill, it's been updated to provide plus 70% attack range. For Paladins, your Execution of Justice Perfect Strike, your skill tree changed to Final Strike. It changes to a holding mode, and the last attack inflicts up to 200% damage at level 5. Now, the first one up for the big kid changes is the Destroyer. So your skills and tripods, they added a new skill, which is the Earthwave skill. So now it's changed from your one-man army skill. So anything you had that was one-man army will now be changed to Earthwave. Next up is the Perfect Swing. They updated the motion, but the timing is the same as before, and it just hits once instead of twice. The damage from your Intemperance skill is increased up to 6.8%. Your Finishing Strike got changed to Gravity Charge, so up to 13% at level 5 on the tripod. It's been changed to Gravity Meter, and it's up to 13% per core at level 5. And the Hour of Slaughter skill tree effect has been changed. They say updated to normal mode, move forward and collide to inflict damage, immediately swing the hammer, inflicting the same damage as Overcharge. Total damage up to 58.6% at level 5 on the tripod. And for Seismic Hammer, we have the Toughened Body skill tree. It's been changed to Enhanced Strike, so the damage to foes goes up to 40% at level 5 with the tripod. And the Law of the Jungle skill tree has also been changed to Gravity Charge. So your gravity meter increases by an additional up to 15% per 1 core at level 5 with the tripods. As far as Earth Eater, Neutralizer, Full Swing, all of these skills, they removed one of the tripods from there, or they changed it rather, to the Gravity Charge, which increases depending on your tripod level per 1 core. So for gravity compression, we have an updated motion and tooltip as well. You thrust your hammer into the ground, release a gravitational wave while inflicting damage. So the move position skill tree has been changed to Gravity Hammer, and it changes to normal mode, and you can strike the ground with your hammer before moving freely. Magnetic Field Enhancement skill tree effect has been updated. The black hole becomes stronger, and the outgoing damage goes up to 76 to 115% depending on the level of your tripod. So for your Terra Break Awakening, they shortened the motion and they adjusted the timing accordingly. And then they give a description of the move, and they let you know that the skill restores your gravity meter 100%. So under specialty here, they have gravity meter, and they change the amount of gravity meter gained depending on gravity cores gained when using the gravity release skill in PvE. It goes from 2, 4, to 8% per gravity core. Hypergravity Zone. The armor destruction has been added to Hypergravity Zone for the normal attack, and its damage was adjusted. The armor destruction on hit now for foe defense is minus 12% for 3 seconds. The gravity training effect, it's been updated. So now gravity meter is plus 20, 45, and 70% upon using the gravity release skill when you're in the hypergravity mode. So the crit rate of your basic attacks and vortex gravity is 10, 20, and 30%. The outgoing damage is 4, 10, and 20%. When hypergravity skill hits the same foe 3 times, it'll make a gravity shock, which inflicts additional damage. The damage inflicted by gravity shock is influenced by hypergravity skill damage. That concludes the Destroyer changes, and now we're on to the Scrapper. The Scrapper is getting a shock skill damage, reduced by 3.7% in PvE. For the Soul Fist skills and tripods, your damage is decreased by 2.8% for all skills, except for your basic attacks in PvE. So for Glavier, the focus skill damage is increased by 6.6% in PvE. That is the red skill, so if you play Pinnacle, you're getting a slight buff. So next up for the big kid changes is the Artillerist. Your barrage meter gain, the increase effect is added to the spec stat now. So your meter gain, the increase coefficient is 0.1. The damage buff efficiency increase coefficient based on the spec stat also has been reduced from 0.7 to 0.62. So the normal and awakening skills, the damage is increased by 4.7% in PvE, and then the barrage skill is increased by 2.9% in PvE. Now in PvP, the normal and awakening is decreased by 6%, and then the barrage skills are decreased by 14.5% in PvP. They added a new skill to you guys, High Pressure Heat Bullet. It launches a bomb that explodes a few moments later. It inflicts damage. And then they removed the Freeze Shell skill, and then the Freeze Shell gems are now changed to High Pressure Heat Bullet gems. For Enhanced Shell, they improved the skill's motion. The meter increase is increased by 50%. Law of the Jungle skill tree, they changed it to load. So per hit, the barrage meter now gives 60 to 90%, depending on the tripod level. The Piercing Shell skill tree has been changed to Free Shell. So Cannonball is now piercing and the element's water, and it decreases move speed of the foe's hit by 60%. For Multi-Rocket Launcher, it says all meter increase minus 35%. And then it says the Backstep skill tree, it's been changed to high speed rapid fire. So the rocket's rapid fire speed is increased by 100%. The recoil distance is 0.4 meters. With each rocket blast, the outgoing damage is up to 20 to 44% based on the tripod level. And it reduces the projectile angle of the rocket when using access denied for the skill tree. For Homing Barrage, the meter increase is plus 50%. The Atom Bomb skill tree effect, they updated it to drop an Atom Bomb. The outgoing damage goes from 85 to 126%, depending on the level of your tripod. So for Forward Barrage, the meter increase is minus 26.6%. The Firepower Control skill tree effect, they changed it to load, so per hit, the barrage meter is between 30 and 45%, depending on your tripod level. And they slightly increased Dancing Explosion skill trees, additional explosion range. For the Flamethrower changes, we have the PvE damage. It's been increased to 31.2%. The PvP damage has increased by 9.3%. All meter increase has been changed to 50.9%. The skill cooldown is now 27 seconds. The MP consumption is now 18.8%. The Quick Prep skill tree, it's been changed to skill cooldown, so it's -5 to -9 seconds, depending on the level of the tripod. And Firepower Control skill has been changed to load, so per hit, the barrage meter is between 30 and 45%, depending on the tripod level. For Gravity Explosion, the PvE damage is increased by 90%, the meter increase is plus 80%, the MP consumption is -5.9%, the Perfect Zone range is increased, the skill cooldown is changed to 27 seconds. The Free Fire skill tree effect has been changed to Vital Point Barrage. The crit rate is between 20% and 45%, depending on the level of the tripod. The Vital Point Barrage skill can now progress up to level 5. Quickly after that, we have Jump Barrage. The strikes are determined 0.1 second faster, other than the Rocket Jump skill tree. They have the Barrage Howitzer. The skill cooldown is now 7 seconds. The Barrage Energy Cannon, it's updated from a normal skill to a holding skill. Your Energy Field, the Firepower Concentration skill, they changed it to focus. So when your HP is 30% or less, the specialty meter is plus 50%. Immediately ends Barrage Mode Cooling. In the specialty section, they're basically telling you that they separated the Firepower meter and the Barrage meter. And they added the Firepower meter increase for normal basic attacks and the Barrage mode basic attacks. So a full Firepower meter will now activate the Firepower level 3 buff, but the limitation on the Firepower level 3 buff duration, it's been removed. So Firepower meter does not get reset after the buff is gone. Instead, while the meter is still active, the buff will stay. Firepower meter will slowly drain if you cannot hit skills or basic attacks for 6 seconds. Buff by level will be applied depending on how full the Firepower meter is. The barrage mode will no longer turn on when firepower meter is full. The barrage mode will turn on when the barrage meter is full. You can still switch to barrage mode by pressing Z if you want. So after the barrage mode is over, you will enter cooldown and you'll be able to increase barrage meter during this time. The barrage mode damage is a minus 20%. Firepower enhancement has been updated, so the firepower meter is full, the overheat effect is triggered, the normal skill damage is 4 to 20%, the firepower meter duration is 8 to 12 seconds. When not in barrage mode, the incoming damage is minus 5, 10, or 15%. So depending on the level of engravings, will determine the values that you get from firepower enhancement. For barrage enhancement, the effect's been updated. The barrage skill damage is 5, 12, or 20%. Barrage skill, the crit rate is 20, 30, 40%, and the barrage meter gain is plus 30%. And you can't enter when in a cooling state. Now, on to the next one. We have the sharpshooter, your skills and tripods, so your skill damage, everything besides your basic attacks is increased by 4.8%. The machinist, the skill damage is increased by 4% in PvE. Your stand-up motion's been increased. The specialty, so when you're hypersynced and you get grabbed now, it won't disable the hypersync anymore. So when you're Iron Man mode and you get grabbed by something, you won't come out of it, like if you're doing desk looter or something and you get grabbed. And then for the gunslingers, right? So your skills and tripods for the gunslingers, they straight up increase the shotgun damage by 5% in PvE. The sharpshooter skill tree has been updated. The special bullet has been changed to in a tight spot. No longer performs a back attack. The outgoing damage is 5 to 28% depending on the tripod, and the crit rate is 20%. In a tight spot has been updated to special bullet. The damage to push immune foes goes from 50% to 80% depending on the level of the tripod. As far as the engravings go for Gunslinger, they put them on here, but I don't know if I wish they would put the old values and the new values so you can tell if it's gone up or down. But as far as Peacemaker and Time to Hunt go, it looks like they changed the values. They do the exact same thing, but they changed the values of how much percentage they give at level 1, 2, and 3 of the engravings. So the first thing I'm going to go over actually for the Arcanist, since this is the last big kid change that we have for this patch, are the specialty cards. So the cards now, they changed the probability for drawing specific cards. So they increased the probability of Cull, which is the crit card, the balance card, the judgment card, which makes all your red skills as if you're full stacks, and the Wheel of Fortune card. So you have a higher chance to draw these like extremely large cards. If you play an Empress Arcana, you know that these are very important cards. And they decreased the probability of the things like Three-Headed Snake, Mayhem, Twisted Fate, Corrosion, Phantom, Moon, Star, and the Royal card, right? So now the Phantom card has been updated to the move speed plus 20% for 16 seconds, and it ignores collisions with adventurers and monsters while you're moving. The Moon card, they changed it now, so the cooldown is reduced 20% for 30 seconds. So the way the cooldown reduction effect is calculated is changed from calculating percentage point of cooldown reductions from swiftness to calculating percentage. So now they have also the Star card. They changed it. So now the Star card actually recovers 50% of your MP, and your MP recovery is plus 20% for 20 seconds. The Cull card has been changed. So for 4 seconds, your basic attack or any skill hits a foe, the crit rate is 100% and the crit damage is plus 50%. Now the next one is Joy card. This is one of those cards where you use it, you'll get one effect or the other. So 100% MP, you'll get recovered, and then you'll reduce your remaining cooldowns by 15%, except for your awakening movement and stand-up skills. And the other one is a 50% chance to instantly reduce your cooldowns by 30% as opposed to 15%. And for Emperor, these are the two cards that they added for Emperor. The Royal card, for 4 seconds, the damage dealt by normal skills is increased by 50%. The other one is the Chancellor card. So for 10 seconds, your crit rate of your normal skills increased by 20%. These two cards are only for the Emperor engraving. They added PvE deck meter recovery upon hitting the Star Ruin skill, and then there is your rune stack damage. They increased it by 5%. The engraving that was changed was the Emperor engraving. It adds an Emperor card to the deck. The Balance and Judgment cards are going to get replaced with Chancellor and Royal cards. The normal skill damage and Emperor card damage are, I don't know if they're the same. I don't know if that's a typo. It's 0, 30, and 80. So I'm not sure, but the values seem to be pretty similar still, and they just changed the cards that you're getting pretty much. As far as the skills and tripods goes, Dealer's Flip, which is the blue skill that they added, it's replacing Infinity Shower, and everything that you had that was once Infinity Shower is now Dealer's Flip. So if you had tripods and stuff, you might get amulets for these tripods. So the attack range is moved 2 meters forward. I'm not sure which attack they're talking about, but maybe it might be the basic attack, who knows. You can now switch to and from other skills faster. I'm wondering if that's just like a smoothing out of the animation, so it's smoother to play. The Call of Destiny and Unlimited Shuffle and Mysterious Stampede, they changed the tripods for all 3 of these. They nerfed the chance to obtain the specialty cards, so I think they did the same with Dark Resurrection as well. Evoke is actually kind of interesting now, because if you play an Empress, there is an Empress build that uses Evoke. So now when you want to go detonate it, you don't have to wait like the whole 2 seconds. They changed it down to 1 second. The Split Magic Circle, the duration has been reduced to like 3 seconds. And then you can use the Evoke's Chain skill while you're using other skills now. So you don't have to finish an animation to detonate the Evoke. You can just detonate it whenever you want. So you can spam the button while you're trying to cast something else. The Quick Draw skill tree effect has been changed. So when the last attack hits, it grants a chance to obtain a specialty card. The Quadra Accelerate, you can now use the movement skill after the first attack. And the Dancing Spine Flower, the PvE damage has been increased by 20%. The back attack is gone. The Thorn Integration skill tree effect has been changed as follows. It decreases the number of attacks to 4 in return for faster attacks. The total outgoing damage is 60 to 95% depending on the level of the tripod. The Fatal Thorn skill tree has been changed to Fake Flip. So it changes to a normal skill. It inflicts Fatal Thorn, damage to equal to 40% of basic attack to the teleport location. So on hit, Fatal Thorn damage is 25 to 40% depending on the level of the tripod. It stacks up to 7 times. And as we go down here, we have Checkmate. The PvE damage is minus 3.8%. Celestial Rain, they increased the attack range by 1 meter. And then now we have the 4 of a Kind, which is the skill cooldown, has been changed to 16 seconds. The MP consumption is up by 13.8%. The PvE and PvP damage both get increased by 25.35%. The PvE and PvE deck meter increase has also been increased by 25.36%. The delayed the delayed shock skill tree effect changed to full house. The crit of the skills and the stack effects to 44%. The damage to push immune foes is plus 12 to plus 36%, depending on the level of the tripod. And then the last one, we have Serendipity, the Lucky Smite skill tree. The effect has changed. So it no longer knocks back foes, but the attack speed goes from plus 30 to plus 42, depending on the level of the tripod. And each time the stack effect lands, it'll stun the target for 2 seconds. And that pretty much covers all of the class changes that we have coming with the patch. Now, lastly, we have the skill removal compensation. So basically what this is telling you is from here on out, if they ever remove or change or do anything crazy with the skills or skill trees that have like tripods on them that are level 5, they're going to give you the correct corresponding amulet. So Oath amulets are level 2, Prayer amulets are level 3, Hope amulets are 4, and the Wish amulets are level 5. So if you have a level 5 tripod and they removed it for whatever reason, you will receive an amulet for that, and you can use that towards a new level 5 tripod instantly. And there's really nothing notable in the bug fixes. They didn't fix anything like getting into the dungeon or anything crazy. But yeah, that's all for this part 2 of the video. This was a extremely large patch, so I had to break it up into 2. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.